Okay, so let's get into some clean up tools. Alright, so I'm going to be using this drawing layer. I'm just going to rename this actually, double click on it and call it Jupyter Clean Up Layer. Alright, so to get nice lines, right, which are manageable and editable, you're going to mainly be using either the pencil tool, which is this one here, alright, or this polyline tool, right? But I'm going to start with the pencil tool, right? The pencil tool is more freehand, right, and it allows for pressure sensitivity with the tablet, right? So now there's also the brush here, right? But there's a reason why cleanup is better with pencil tool, right? So I'm just gonna demonstrate the difference between the pencil tool and the brush tool, right? So if I just draw a stroke here with the brush tool, actually I'm gonna undo that and just make it just a little bigger. Alright, so I draw a line with the brush stroke there. We see, right, I got a bit of taper here, right, with the pressure sensitivity. So it's looking pretty good. Now if I do one with the brush stroke, let's see. It's looking pretty good too. Actually, what I want to demonstrate, I'm just going to increase the size. Alright, yeah, so this is still soft lead. I need to find a vector brush actually. So I'll go with this one. Yeah, you don't want to be using a bitmap brush for your cleanup. Everything should be vector. Right, so I mean this is a bit thick, but just to demonstrate, right? If I now take my contour editor tool, which is this white one here, and I draw around my pencil line, you see, if I zoom in, right, it's just a single line going through here, and I can fairly easily, right, tweak the shape of this line by pulling around points along the line, and I can select a point and delete the point and simplify the line like that, right? Now with the brush stroke, right, there is no single line. It's all points all around the line itself, right? So if I want to change the shape of this, it's a lot more difficult, right, to try to change the shape, right? So that is why generally the pencil lines are better, right? So the pencil as well as the polyline tool give us similar kind of editable lines, right? So we want to stick to those. Okay, so going back to the pencil tool here, I'm not going to worry too much about my maximum size. You see on the tool properties here, going with this default pencil one, maximum size, I'm just working with it as 10 for now. Now also important is the smoothing here, right? By default I believe it's 20, right? So let's say for instance if I'm drawing here, right, I can draw fairly slow, you know, and it gives me a natural smoothing, right? If I was to turn down that smoothing completely, the line is just going to be exactly more or less whatever I draw, right? So all the hitches, all the little handshakes, right, are gonna stay, right? But if I turn that smoothing back up to 20, right, what it was, and I try a jagged line, it's gonna smooth it out, right? So that with cartoony characters like this, that is very helpful, alright? But if your hand is steady, you know, and you want to try doing, you know, nice, sorry, that was the brush tool, nice, you know, solid, swift strokes like that, alright? Sometimes it could take a little while to get the stroke the right way that you want it. Also, right, if you want to change This is just like having a physical animation table that you can rotate around, right? So there's a shortcut to rotate. If you hold on Control and Alt, and you can drag up and down to rotate your canvas, right? And to get it back to normal, just hold on Shift and X, right? So we're going to be using that a lot, right, to try and get these shapes here. So personally, I find it, sometimes a bit difficult to get the lines I want right away with the pencil tool. It sometimes takes a few tries to get things accurate. Although you don't really have to worry too much about being too accurate right away, because remember, you can always come back in and edit the shape, right, with the contour editor. Also notice, right, that I am going over the edge with a lot of these strokes, and you might wonder why I'm doing that, and that is because under the black pointer tool here, selection tool, if I click and hold, right, there's a cutter tool that I can use, and I'll just demonstrate what that does, right, before I start using it though, right. I just want to make sure I change this option here, the tip style. I want to change it to round, right, and what I can do with this cutter tool is any area that is overlapping, I can just drag through it and it chops it off, right. So this is very helpful with the cleanup, and for area like this, right, if I just drag there and drag there, you see I get a nice round part where it clips off there. Alright, so this is more or less the process of cleanup with pencil tool. Alright, so you can always come back in afterwards and edit those lines a bit more, get it closer to the shape that you want, and come back in with the cutter and just clip off what you don't want. Right? Okay, so that is pencil tool. Now the polyline tool, right, is a bit more like the pen tool in Illustrator, if you ever use Adobe Illustrator. By default though, right, if I just click and drag out points here, you see that this line has even thickness going all the way through, right. The nice thing about the pencil tool is it works with the pressure sensitivity, and you get these nice tapers on the edges here, right. But you can fake it. You can fake it with the polyline tool. And if I go into the tool properties, I can choose, I think medium tapered thickness stencil works fairly okay. Alright, so you see I get a variance in the thickness here. Now it is quite a big variance by default, but I can up the minimum size here. Alright, increase the minimum size so that it's a bit less varied. And I can also decrease the maximum size, right, so that overall it's a bit closer to the actual pencil line here. Right, so personally I find this is a bit easier than trying to draw it accurately, and it's a lot harder if you're using a tablet as opposed to a Cintiq, right, to get nice lines with the pencil tool. So I'm gonna try now with this polyline tool and see if I could get some decent cleanup here. Alright, so keep in mind, when you click in and drag in, alright, if you drag small, it's going to be a tighter curve. If you drag long, it's going to be a more rounded curve, alright? So you just have to get accustomed with these Bezier curves here. Not worrying about the thickness right now. I will fix that later on. But in fact, I can select the curve itself and then go down into the properties and actually adjust the thickness of that selected curve there. So maybe about 8 is probably a good thickness to start with. Alright, so I'll change this back down to 8 and just continue dragging out lines here. I believe if I want to finish off a line with the polyline tool, right, if I just keep clicking, it's just going to continue. But if I want to finish that line, I can hold on Control Shift and click, and then if I click again, I'm starting a new line. Alright, so me personally, I just find this method is a bit faster. Oops. So I might just speed up the video a bit here. Alright, so you see when I drag out here, if I'm dragging out this much to get that part of the nose, if I drag down here now, okay, yeah, I may right, it is very similar to the pen tool in Illustrator if you have experience with that. So let's say, oops, Control Shift. Let's say if I drag this line here and this one like that. Alright, let's say if I'm happy with how much it's dragged on the left side there, but I want to drag it more on the right side without affecting the left side, this is where I would hold on Alt and then I can independently edit the left side, right? So that is just a useful thing. Oops. Let me just start over that. Alright, so this all comes with practice here. Alright, of course I can come back in and edit all these lines. I'm still gonna draw through. Alright, so I'm drawing through here for the face, right? So I'm just doing the face for now. Alright, keeping things simple. Alright, and I'm overshooting so I can come back in with the cutter tool later and chop things off and keep them nice and clean. a bit too far there, so I'll just break it up. Cool, so let me just select my poly lines. Actually, let me just finish off the head. Alright. Try to do this quickly. Just gonna get the yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, so if I'm ever unsure how the lines are supposed to go, I can always refer back to this design and see, right, how those lines are supposed to connect. And these ears definitely need to taper out more here, right? And maybe they're a bit more round at the base there. Yeah, that's good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Actually, if you wanna change direction, you can hold on Alt and just change the direction of that polyline, and then come back like that. Alright. Just gonna draw through for this one here. Come back around here. Ah. Oops. Yeah, see that last one is a bit more round. I'm just checking to see how they overlap here. I think, see how those lines overlap. Alright. Cool. So I'm gonna select all of the polylines and see if I can add taper to them so that they kind of blend in more with the pencil lines. So go back to my tool properties, get the medium tapered, and let's bring the maximum size down to 8 and bring the minimum size up. Yeah, I think we're looking good there, fairly. So now we can start using a cutter tool and just clipping off the extra bits. Alright, so sometimes you really gotta zoom in, get those bits. To really know which one is in front and which is behind. Alright, so I think this one is in front. Yeah, that makes sense. And that one. Yeah, okay. Oops. Oh, no, I'll leave that one there. Alright. Cool. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good. Alright, so the next step is to color. Alright, add some color to this. So let's go into that in the next video.